You want to be a creator, but god damn it, how the hell do you motivate yourself to actually make shit? Every project is too big, you don't know where to start, and even if you did, what if you tried and inevitably failed? No, it's easier to just keep dreaming, right? Screw that, I want to show you guys 7 rules that I've used to not just motivate myself to create, but actually keep myself creating for over a decade as a job. And I'll even reveal this, my secret weapon that has made me actually able to focus during the day. I've broken today's video up into steps, each builds on the last, so make sure you watch all the way through. But first, it doesn't matter what you do, you're doomed to fail if you're not a good liar. What? You see, you might think you're this highly evolved creature who walks around on 2 legs and wears clothes, but in reality, you're just a little lizard brain piloting a bunch of bones and meat. All of the anxiety, fear, and negative emotions you feel every day are just leftovers from when you needed that shit to stop yourself being ripped to shreds and eaten alive by a saber-toothed tiger. Which is great if you still had saber-toothed tigers around, but nowadays, if you let it run wild, it actually gets stronger. You see, no matter what you're trying to achieve, the first thing you have to change is how you talk to your brain, because it is an amazing machine, but it's also really gullible. If you wake up every day and tell yourself you'll never be a successful creator, or you'll never be a good editor, or you'll never be able to make a video or write a script, then yeah, you're never going to be able to do those things because your brain will believe you. But if you force yourself to lie and say, I can become an amazing editor, I can learn new skills, I can grow and improve and earn my mother's wait, what? Sorry about that, but seriously, if you can do those things, your brain will start to believe you, and depending on how consistently you do that, it will believe you much quicker. I know this sounds stupid, I thought that as well, but trust me, if you want to learn more about this, it's a very proven and researched concept called compassion-focused therapy, which helps people like myself with diagnosed chronic anxiety and invasive suicidal thoughts to, you know, make my bed and get up every day and actually function. So step 1 is done. You've started to lie to your brain. The next thing you have to do is understand that you've also been lied to your entire life. You've been taught that motivation and talent are things people intrinsically have. You don't have those. Just give up. But that's bullshit. Those things are, as weird as it sounds, skills you can very quickly grow. See, there is a little part of your brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, and learning about it changed my life. This part of your brain is essentially a muscle that controls your motivation, tenacity, and willpower. It's been proven that if you don't shy away from hard tasks or challenges, this part of your brain will grow stronger, making it easier to take on bigger challenges. But if you constantly shy away from challenges, or if you always take the comfortable path, it actually gets weaker. And that's really all we need to know about it, because once we know about that, at least for me, it creates a little voice in the back of my head. And every time I would come up with reasons why I couldn't go for a run or get work done, that little voice yells, your anterior mid-cingulate cortex will remember that. And suddenly, my shoes are on and I'm on the treadmill because the idea of my brain shrinking is terrifying. Okay, that's the brain stuff done. With that, we know how to lie to ourselves and how to get rid of the lies we've been told. Now it's time to actually start doing things. So you sit down at your computer and you set yourself the task, make a full YouTube video. And that's a stupid task, you idiot. Come on. The idea of creating an entire video is daunting. I can't just sit down one day and make a video. If I tried to do that, I'd become paralyzed by decisions and the overwhelming dread of how much there is to do, otherwise known as analysis paralysis. But there are 3 steps we can take to start literally any task, no matter the size. Step 1 is called first principles. In short, this is the idea of breaking down major tasks that make you feel overwhelmed into much smaller, easier to complete tasks. Let's take the average YouTube video. Rather than writing the task out as make video about motivation, instead I could say plan video about motivation. But even that might be too much for you. In that case, we could go even more granular with a list like this on screen now. This is kind of the steps that I would take to write a script for a full video. And this process will continue in these bite-sized chunks until eventually I have not just scripted, but I've recorded and edited an entire video. Now, I don't recommend writing out an entire video's tasks at once because that's still overwhelming. Instead, Instead, you should follow the second step for starting a big project, and that is a daily to-do list. I personally batch my work by day and then write a to-do list in the morning focused around specific tasks. For example, I have one entire day devoted to scripting and pre-production every week. If I have to script 3 videos that day, I break those down into smaller tasks and then write a to-do list that I can physically tick off. This not only gives me a clear starting point and direction to follow, but as I work through the to-do list, I get little hits of dopamine because I can see the list getting smaller, which tricks my little addicted lizard brain into feeling good about itself. Now, it's crucial these tasks are achievable. If you write massive tasks that you can't tick off today, you'll quickly feel defeated when you have to write them out again tomorrow. So remember, smaller achievable tasks in a clear to-do list. If you're sitting down to eat a T-bone steak, you gotta cut it up first. But finally, I can see the comments now because I get them all the time. LJ, this is all well and good, but what if I do all of this work and I fail? What if people are mean to me? What if I suck? And I will go into more detail about this again later, so stick around for that if this fear is intense for you. But for now, what you have to learn is that fear takes time to build a narrative that holds you back. The longer you think about something and the longer you see all the things that could go wrong, all the problems and ways you could be hurt, or even just the longer you wait to even start it, the harder it is to start naturally. Again, as someone with a chronic anxiety condition that has always wanted to be a creator, literally my entire life, one of the best pieces of advice I was ever told was be brave for just 10 seconds and say yes. Don't give yourself time to talk yourself out of everything. Instead, just be brave for 10 seconds. Tell yourself you can do this and then just start. Recently, I was asked with a week's notice to fly to America and talk at the world's largest tech event. I can't do that on a week's notice. So I immediately began to panic until my wife looked me dead in the eye and said, "You need to say yes, you can figure the rest out later." So I did. And now I can say that I've talked at CES, the biggest tech event in the world. That's insane. But starting is only half the battle. How do you keep yourself working once you start? How do we stay focused? This is my biggest issue. I have always struggled to stay on task my entire life, and it's only gotten worse with so many new distractions. So to help stop myself from being distracted alongside my to-do list, I use this, my secret weapon. A Pomodoro counter. Each side is a different length of time, and placing it on that side starts a timer. Now, technically, Pomodoro means to set a 15-minute timer, work for 15 minutes, and then take a small 5-minute break, in which you will then loop this until you finish a workday. I do not do this. I just keep looping the 5 or 10 minutes over and over because it's incredibly achievable to work for 5 or 10 minutes. And if I manage to focus for a full 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it goes a little buzzy sound and I feel incredibly productive, aka constantly hitting my work goals and getting that dopamine rush. Is this gonna work for you? I don't know. Almost certainly in some format though, and I can say everyone should get one of these and try to find a system that works for them with it. I'll link this one down below in the description because I have tried a few different versions of these clocks and even used some phone apps as well, but let's be real, touching your phone while you're trying to work is like asking to be distracted. So for me, this is the one I've found, I've stuck with, and I like it. I'll link it below. I've just recorded for 20 minutes. It was just supposed to be overlaid for the motivation video, and I've just written an entire short. It works. It just works, man. And now for the second most important part. You've learned how to start. You've learned how to focus. But how do we stop doubting ourselves or feeling like crap when we fail? What do we do when we step back, look at what we've made, and hate it because it isn't perfect? Well, that's the hardest part, and what I'm about to say won't solve it overnight. I'm sorry, there's no easy fix here. These two things we have to spend months telling ourselves before we start to even believe them. And if you stop believing them, you have to restart the process again. But the first thing you have to believe is that perfection is a direction, not a state of being. As people, when we seek perfection, we set ourselves up to hate ourselves. It's unrealistic to be perfect. But further than that, if you were so deranged to think everything you do or did or created was perfect, then you are setting yourself up to never improve. In reality, there is always something you can do to be better, and that's exciting. You'll always notice problems with what you made, and when you solve those, you'll notice new ones because your ability to observe your mistakes is becoming better as you become better. Now, what happens if you work really hard to create something you're proud of? You accept its flaws, you do your best, and it flops anyway. This is when we have to remind ourselves that effort is never truly wasted. If you want to run a 5K marathon, you break it down to small steps. You put your shoes on, go outside, start running as hard as you can, but you get winded 1K and have to stop to breathe before going home. You didn't fail, You tried something really hard, and next time you're gonna be better at it. You recognize you went too hard, too fast, so maybe next time you start the run slower. You warm up, and congratulations, you managed to run 2Ks before having to go home. Of course, success won't happen overnight, but you got further today and you'll get further tomorrow. Listen to these words and take it home with you. When you put effort in and reflect on your mistakes, that effort is never wasted. It all pulls together to make you a better person. Even if the progress is slow, it's still progress. Even if you fall off the wagon and stop going for your runs or stop making videos, you still made progress. And that's why you should be excited. Because if you're not excited, you'll quit every time. And this, to me, is the most important step of the whole video. Seriously, nobody gets into content creation because they like the feeling of clicking upload video. There is a motivation, or maybe it's better to say a reason you want to do this. The problem is, that reason often causes creators like yourself, who have a lot of potential to be amazing, to instead quit very quickly. I've been helping people do this for about 5 or 6 years, and I can't count how many channels I've seen and helped who were going to be massive if they just stuck to creating and didn't give up. The problem is, their goal was they wanted money or fame or millions of views. They wanted things that aren't going to come for a long time. You can want these things, but if that's your key reason for doing, you're going to struggle because you won't feel rewarded until you're much bigger. To solve this, you need to love the process of creating content. You need to love creating ideas, titles, thumbnails, and then making those things should excite you. You don't have to love every stage perfectly, but you should enjoy seeing your ideas come to life and making something. You should enjoy the feeling of learning new skills and sharing your art with new people. And at the end of the day, something I have to remind people of, if you spend your time creating videos or content and you don't enjoy any of it, what's the point? When it comes to content creation, or I guess any of my hobbies or how I spend any of my time outside of work or family responsibilities, I've always said the same thing. If I don't enjoy something, why would I waste my limited time torturing myself with it? I'm not saying to quit if you're not having fun. I'm just saying you should find your joy, your excitement, and allow that to fuel your content journey. I quit a 50,000 subscriber gaming channel that had 35 million views because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I started a whole new gaming channel, which is still far smaller than that, but it's on a topic I love, and I'm getting, well, millions of views on that as well, but I'm actually excited to create, the views aside, okay? Mostly because the comments are really funny on them. And if you want to see how new YouTubers are killing their channels, click right here. If you want to see how I monetized a new gaming channel in 6 uploads, click right here. I'll see you guys next week.